Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is guidance messages from your spirit guides. So any messages your spirit guides want to bring through in regards to your current energy, what's to come, just basically anything that they want to bring through to you that could help you right now on your path. So I'm going to get straight in. We have 3 crystals for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the smoky quartz. Pile number 2 is the green aventurine. And pile number 3 is the angelite. I completely forgot that. I was going to say blue calcite, but it's angelite. Yeah, so see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey Pal 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance messages your spirit guides have for you right now. So you guys chose the smoky quartz crystal. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. I want to say as I start filming it's 11:44. So you guys may have been seeing 11 a lot, you know, those repeating numbers, 44 a lot, or you could just be seeing the number 11:44 a lot. It could just be a message, but it was just funny how I never look when I first start, and that was the first, you know, double message that I saw. So yeah, let's get in. So pile number 1, please spirit guide. Straight away I'm being shown lemons. It could be that you guys are drinking lemon water, it could be that you guys are burning lemon essential oil. There is a message about lemons coming through, and I know lemons detoxify. They do refresh as well, but they do tend to detox. So I don't know whether they're showing me them in the sense of you guys being in a state of detoxing right now, whether that's your physical body or your environment around you, or it could just be something that you've been just naturally doing anyway. But there's something about like a refresh, you know, when the internet connection goes and then you get the refresh button, there's something about that you're being called to do, or you may already be doing it. Pile number 1, please spirit guides. A message from my pile number 1s. Spirit guides, what guidance do they need to hear right now? My pile number 1s. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I'm hearing the Lauryn Hill lyric, how you gonna win when you're not right from within. We have the Ace of Wands. Okay, straight away I'm hearing it's okay to be selfish right now is about you. And there's a strong reference of you blocking out anything that is going to interrupt your peace. Now, I'm not saying bypassing things around you that you may not want to deal with. I'm on about people that are genuinely draining your energy, or foods that are really taking your energy. You're being called to look at what's around you right now. It could be like a room that needs decluttering. Maybe your home needs decluttering, or there could be a person in your life taking your energy. But I almost feel like you guys are very aware that right now is a time for you. But I'm almost being shown like, it's like I'm trying to focus on one thing in front of me and I've got a bunch of flies trying to get in my attention and, you know, swarming in front of my face. And it's like you're being called to like silence them out to the best that you can and be very, 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 they're saying it very like, very, very, very selfish with your energy right now. Spirit's very focused on you getting centered right now and grounded and not allowing anything to pull you off your pedestal. Now, the reason I feel like they're saying this is I feel like maybe over the last couple of months you've had your eye on something that you've wanted to reach. I feel like for some of you guys you've maybe opened up to something new in your life, in the sense of you could be now ready to open up to love, or you could be now looking at another mountain to climb in regards to your career or just your life in general. So like it's, you've got your eye on the prize, and the minute you started doing that you may be feeling like things are coming around you to kind of block your path. They're not blocking your path, but you're being called to really observe and not absorb them. This tends to happen when we let's say okay, so say now we have been healing for a while and we finally feel ready to open up to a relationship. So we can open our heart up and we can think of all of these beautiful new feelings. We can have forgiveness for people in our past. We can have, you know, this new idea of love there. And it's like, okay, this is the paradigm I want to jump onto. What happens then is your subconscious starts to literally filter out anything that is basically hindering that paradigm from becoming your reality, which is probably why I was being shown the lemons in regards to detoxing. So this detox happens not just in your subconscious mind, but because it's coming up into your conscious reality, maybe some wounds, people from the past, it can then start to happen in your physical reality. So anything that could have been hindering you from maybe getting your workout regime started, that may start coming up in the first couple of weeks when you start, and you may be thinking, well, why am I being knocked back down? You're not. These things are coming up to show you what to observe, not absorb, and to really step past it without it really taking you out. I hope this is making sense. So I almost feel like maybe you guys have had, I'll tell you a story. I remember when I knew I wanted to work for myself, and I knew what the paradigm I wanted to jump onto, and I was scripting and getting everything ready, and I really had my head down. And what happened was, the job that I had at the time, my wage, hi Luna, Luna's come to say hello. My wage at the time went so low I could barely live off it, and I just started thinking, well, I'm trying to save money and I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that, and I almost feel like everything's working against me. But what it did was, it in the end naturally helped me out, but I had to kind of purge out anything that was not on that paradigm and be made aware of things to kind of not only give me a driving force to reach that paradigm, but for me to be aware of my energy and how it was contributing to it. You know, at the time I didn't feel confident enough in myself or worthy enough in myself to be making decent money. So when my money dropped, it was like, why is this happening? And I had to really look into why and pull that out. So I feel like you guys have set your sight on something that is literally manifesting. And the fact that things are already coming up, like little splinters, are a literal proof that what you're trying to align with is actually happening, because they're coming up to your conscious reality now to be purged out. It could be that there's certain friends playing up, or connections playing up, or family members playing up right now, and it's to show you where your energy may get drained, to show you where that person may tug on your energy and keep you anchored into that paradigm. The minute we see that there is a light up in the sky when we're under the ocean and we start to climb to it, we may realize there's an anchor attached to our leg, and it's not to pull us back down, but it's to show us this was anchoring us into this paradigm. Let's sort out and really unhook ourselves from this. So that's happening for you guys right now, which is why, again, you've chose the smoky quartz as well, which really helps cleanse and detox our energy and keep negative energies at bay. The fact that you've had such positive cards come out as well, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, this is happening as an answer to a direct manifestation. It's like when we put face masks on and we exfoliate our skin, we're cleaning out our skin so that all those little pimples and stuff start coming out afterwards. And it's not because, you know, we've made it worse, it's because those pimples were under the surface, and because we've exfoliated, it had to get worse before it got better. So that's what's happening right now, and that tends to happen when a shift happens. Everything goes completely upside down before it flips up the right way. So there's something like that right now, where you've made a conscious effort to open up to something bigger in your own energy. You've reported part of your consciousness and energy into a new pot. It now has room to grow, but for it to grow upwards, it also has to root itself deeper, and it's not going to be able to root itself deeper without getting rid of the blocks in the way. That's what's happening for you guys right now. I don't know what, because there's noise around me. I feel like there's noise around me distracting me, and it's coming up, and it's almost, some of you guys are feeling a little bit unbearable, but if it's for you guys to see what may be taking your energy and what may be pulling your energy, so you can kind of amend that in whatever way that you can. So let's pull the final card from this deck before I move on to the other ones. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Oh, we have the 10 of Swords. Yeah, this is all part of a rebirth that is happening for you guys. You guys are leveling up. I'm hearing pressure makes diamonds. The back of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups as well. You guys are definitely being called right now to center your emotions and be super aware of your own emotions right now. Really take a look, because I'm almost being shown tennis bats knocking a ball back and forth, and it's like, take a look at who maybe baiting you into arguments right now, or baiting you into discussions that are really dragging you down right now. Because I can't remember where I saw someone say this. I'm sure it was some sort of TikTok video. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about when we would react to people that are negative in the sense of trying to bait us into an argument, we are exchanging our energy. So they get our higher energy because we're giving it to them by conversing like that, and then we are getting their energy, you know what I mean, that lower vibrational energy that they've just projected onto us, which then has our energy depleted while they feed off that lighter energy. And that's why you're being called to be very careful and really observe where people are trying to trigger you and project onto you. And really, even when that emotion comes up where you're feeling a little bit triggered by what somebody may be saying or doing, I'm being called for you guys to really nurture into it and see what that feeling, see what message that feeling has for you. Because I feel like whatever's coming up and triggering you right now, it's been laying dormant. It's coming up like a volcano that's been dormant for a while. It's coming up now for that release, because maybe that feeling that is happening right now, it's stuck to an emotion that was an anchor holding you into a different paradigm. And the reason it's being triggered right now is to be brought up so you can allow yourself to purge out and finally feel the feelings of that emotion, to really allow yourself to ascend and float to the top instead of being held at the bottom. So you're going in the right direction, even though right now it may not seem that way, but there is a reason why these little things may be happening, little delays may be happening. You know, maybe finances are going a bit lower if you've been trying to manifest some more money for you guys, or you've been trying to expand in your career and things may not be going the way that you want to, but it's to show you where there are things maybe holding you back. That's something that's coming in, but it's all happened in the sense of a rebirth with this 10 of Swords here. You're being shown where these knives are in your back to pull them out. You weren't aware of them because they were so deeply back in your subconscious, but now you're being made aware of the pain so that you can really pull it out and allow yourself to heal from them. Because once you've healed from them, again, you float to the top. And you've really, with the Queen of Pentacles, you've actually seeded something. This is literally telling me that you've seeded something that is going to come to fruition. Again, we're just waiting for, it's like a garden. When we want a beautiful garden, we're pulling the weeds up right now, and it's a direct answer to that manifestation. So you didn't want something and then the universe is like, no, psych, like, no, that didn't happen at all. I'm here to tell you that, like Spirit showed me the lemons at the beginning of the video. You guys are like purging or cleansing right now. I was literally being shown lemons, and that's why you guys are really cleansing right now. In a lot of areas. I feel like maybe it isn't just one specific thing you're trying to manifest in. I feel like it might be a few. That's why it might be feeling a little bit overwhelming. It could be maybe in regards to health. It could be in regards to career. It could be in regards to love. And then 3 things are happening at once. I'm also being told you are the type of people that don't do things by half. You're not like, I'll do this and I'll do this then and I'll do that. You're like, no, let's do it all now. So when you go through the purge, you go through a purge. It's not just like, I'm doing shadow work for like a week or 2 and then I'm like over it like within a month and I've rebirthed. It's like you will do like 100 things at once. That sometimes when you align with a new paradigm, you naturally just go through an ego death or a dark night of the soul to expand your brain. Like that's something that happens for you guys because you don't do anything by halves, I'm being told. Because you're quite a grand force of energy is what I'm being told. So yeah, let's pull some more cards. Let's pull these tarot cards next. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Guidance from my pile, number 1s from my spirit guides. What guidance do my pile number 1s need to hear right now? We have self-reliant and perceptive, Queen of Swords. One more card for the other side, please, spirit guides. Oh goodness, I need to clean my table again. I'm literally cleaning it so many times now because I have a couple new plants in this room and my cats like to sit in them and then climb up here, and I have compost everywhere. So I'm constantly like cleansing it down. Pile number 1. Oh goodness, these cards are so hard to shuffle. Sorry guys, bear with me. Pile number 1, messages from my pile number 1 spirit guides. What guidance do they have for my pile number 1s? We have the Emperor, wisdom and passion. The back of the deck, we have the 8 of Wands, alignment and progress. And there's a rainbow there as well. So with the Eight of Wands, that's literally indicating that there are shifts happening. Your energy is alchemizing right now. Your feet are starting to get lifted off the ground as things alchemize for you to align you with this paradigm. We literally have alignment and progress. So this is showing me that you've set an intention and physically aligned with something. So your reality is becoming it, and it's purging out anything that would not be part of that paradigm. Think of what may be showing up right now, and think if that was still in your reality, would it exist on the paradigm you've been trying to manifest in? Would it really exist? So it's like you're being shown that, and it's being brought to your attention. That's something that I'm being told. We also have self-reliant, perceptive, the Queen of Swords, and then we have wisdom, passion, the Emperor. Why do we have these cards, please, spirit guides? Queen of Swords, self-reliant, perceptive, the Emperor, wisdom, passion. You want to lay in your bed, so you're currently making it. I know that's like a weird spin on that kind of saying, but that's what's happening. I feel like when I look at the self-reliant card as well, I just feel like you guys are literally aligning with a completely different reality than what you have now. This is like big. This is like a really big shift. You're literally making big leaps in the dark. Some of you guys are even leaping in the dark. So it's like leap in the net will appear. Like there's some big shifts. It doesn't feel like anything little. It could be something small for some of you guys, but for a lot of you guys, it almost feels like something big. Like maybe buying a house, or finding like a life partner, not just like a karmic connection, but a life partner, making that very clear. Or you know, fully feeling that energy of self-love, that you don't need anyone. So it's like, boom, now it's all coming up. There's something really big that's coming up and clearing out, and it's something that you've done. You've chose to do by aligning with something. I think this message from Spirit is more so guidance that you are on this right path. With the Emperor card as well, I think Spirit's calling you as well to really tap into your spiritual side right now and really align with your higher self right now. Especially with this Emperor card here and the Wisdom card, it's like you guys have a lot up your sleeve. There's almost this feeling of, this is getting a bit too much, I can't handle it. But there's a message from your spirit guides that you would never go through something that you couldn't handle. Your higher self would never choose to align with a life that you couldn't handle, and you wouldn't have these paradigms coming up in your awareness if they weren't for you to jump onto. You wouldn't even have the passion and the drive to even align with them and start to align with them and have these things come into your conscious reality if it wasn't meant for you, if your heart wasn't there, if that wasn't the next designated stop, you know, and the best designated stop for you. It's here because I'm being told to keep reminding you how full of wisdom you are, how much power you wield in yourself, that you've even been able to make this shift, that you'll be able to get through anything. I keep wanting to say to you, like, remember your power and remember who you are. Remember all these tricks you have up your sleeve, not just tricks from this lifetime, but tricks from many, many, many lifetimes. And that's why you're being called to really meditate and align with your higher self, to work through maybe certain emotions coming through right now, or certain feelings right now, because it's almost this feeling of like pressure cooker, but that's, I'm being told, always when you alchemize anyway. So that's something that I'm almost referencing from you guys, to really remind yourself who you are. Like, I almost feel like you may have even done this before too, like aligned with a certain paradigm before, or you may have been through like an ego death before, or been through a lot before. That Spirit's like, do you not remember everything you've been through this far? And you got through it all by yourself, like self-reliant. You don't think you could just get over this? This is minuscule compared to what you've maybe gone through or been through or transformed. You've got this. Like, remember who you are. There's a strong message about that. And also remember that you're not alone, and that Spirit's around you heavily as well, helping you with this shift. I do feel like you are being kind of cocooned right now, and do you know what I'm being told to say? Heavily observed right now, by how you're moving. I feel like you have a team of spirit around you heavily observing. It could be ancestors around you heavily observing. There's something about ancestors very much praising you, respecting you, or there's this, I don't know if you've worked through some generational karma, but there's almost this feeling of them living through you, in the sense of no, this person's got to keep going. We need to really protect this person. Like there's a storm of energy around you, and not in a negative way of like fierceness. It feels fierce. It's like, you're not going to slip, you're going to keep going, we're around you, keep going. Like there's a lot of that, even if you don't physically see it. And that's something I want to reference to you guys as well. Like, you're not on your own. You're not making these shifts and decisions on your own. Some of you guys even could be observing these things. Okay. Some of you guys may not be having, you know, like I said, things may be coming up that you guys are cleansing and working through. Some of you guys may be very calm in waking state, and maybe just very observant, like I said, when things may be happening around you. And you guys, some of you guys may be even super aware that things are coming up to be purged, and you're being very observant. And because you're being very observant, that almost tells me that there's a level of mastery that you would have reached. And I'm being told that when you're sleeping, either your spirit guides or maybe ancestors are almost performing some sort of like healing on you, to help cleanse out. And then I'm being told you're waking up in the mornings, and maybe for the first 2 or 3 hours of the morning, you feel like you want to cry, or your heart feels very open, or you feel like you're grieving, or you feel worried. And then after those 3 hours, it's gone. And I feel like it's because whilst you're sleeping, I feel like spirit's helping remove things. And the reason they're helping do it is because you've already mastered that level anyway, and you're aligned, you know, you're allowing things to purge out anyway. It's like they're able then to help you because it's not interrupting your karma. Sometimes they can't do that because it's your karma to really work through things, whereas I almost feel like you've opened up to a level of healing where it's like, well, they've already mastered that, it's not interrupting the karma, and maybe your higher self was given permission, so it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll help. So there's almost this feeling of, especially like 3, like I'm being told like 3, and they feel like feminine energies. It does feel like actual 3 females that would have been on earth, coming through and almost helping clear something within you, taking it as their kind of role or part to play in something. So I don't know whether you've healed some sort of generational karma, but there's something being cleansed that your higher self may have been opened up to, like, yes, I've already done this multiple times, you know what I mean? Like, it's not interrupting the karma, you can help. There's something about that coming on. So if you have been feeling a bit, I don't know, in the mornings, and then lightening up through the day, that may be it. Because I'm being told I'm going to bed, or something's happening which could derail me, but I'm super calm about it and I'm super balanced. But then I'm waking up and I'm like, and I can feel it coming out, and I'm observing it, but I can feel it coming out, and I'm acknowledging that I can feel it. So that may be something that's been happening for some of you guys. Some of you guys may be waking up certain hours of the night as well, and again, that's because it's almost like influxes of energy or something's happening. And I'm also being told you guys may need to go to the toilet a little bit. Remember, when we're going to the toilet, we're clearing our vessel, and our body holds a lot of water, and obviously when we're clearing out our vessel, toxins and all of that can cleanse out, and it can cleanse out physically. So you guys may find that you're frequently going to the bathroom, because it's purging out of your body. That's another thing I'm being told to say, because I'm being shown someone waking up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I need to go to the toilet, and that's why. So for whoever that's been happening for, some of you guys have been craving sugar recently. I don't know why that's coming up. Why have they been craving sugar? Okay. So I read this a while ago, that when we crave sugar, it's because we need more feminine energy in our life. And I feel like you guys are maybe aligning with a timeline where your feminine energy is more at the forefront. Doesn't matter what gender you are, it's an energy. So because of that, you guys may find that your taste buds are shifting, that you're aligning with like more sugary foods and things like that, because you are aligning with a paradigm where that's more of your reality. So your taste buds are starting to change first, like with that reality. So you may be craving like cakes and sweets, or it could go the other way where maybe you'll be more opened up to spirit on that other timeline. So you guys may be craving foods that really weigh your body down, like meats and breads and, you know, things like that, to kind of ground you into your physical body. So some of you guys may be craving that too. So if that's been happening, there's an explanation there that they want to give. Something about the way that you're eating, and that may be shifting, or foods that you're craving. even crystals that you wear, you could find that that's starting to shift. Little things are already starting to shift for you, I'm being told. And even before you made the conscious decision to align with that paradigm, your higher self already knew that you were going to come to that conclusion. So things have actually been shifting for a little while. You may have found that you always wore black tourmaline, but now you want to wear clear quartz. You may have found that you always were drawn to the color blue, but in this new paradigm, you're more open within your root chakra, so you've been really called to the color red. Styles have been changing. There's been shifts happening in your energy for the last, I would say, 3 to 4 months. I would say specifically, it could be longer. For some of you guys, it could be 6, and that's because time doesn't exist and your energy was already answering to your call before you even made the call. So that's something coming in as well. Pile number, I would say if you're watching this in January when I've done it, as far back as August, you've been responding to these shifts in energy. We have the Outlaw. Yeah, you're creating a new path. You're forging a new path. Now we have the Observer. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 1. We have Reclaim. And we have the Shadow. Yeah, things are coming out in regards to your shadow self, into your conscious reality for you to purge, be made aware of. Like I said, that's really being confirmed with the Shadow card. With the Outlaw, and we have the Boot there, I feel like you guys are blazing a new path for yourself. I honestly feel like you're taking your family line on a path that hasn't been ventured in a very, very long time. It could be a vibration that hasn't been held on to or reached in a very long time. It could be an abundance of money that hasn't been reached in your timeline for a long time. It could be pure love that is being held at a particular vibration, a healthy love that has not been able to manifest for a really long time. And for some of you guys, I feel like it's all of the above. You know what I mean? I feel like it's all of it. I feel like there's a big new path that your family haven't treaded on for some time. And that's why there's a protectiveness coming through in regards to you. Because you're kind of leading the way with your light, is what I'm being told here. I don't think this has been easy for you at all. Why do we have the Observer? Everything is interconnected and you're being called to, even if you can't see the light or the pathway right now, please focus on you and how you're feeling, and little efforts to make sure you are reaching your goal or just analyzing and working through something right now. And when you feel like, I don't understand how this is coming up and why this would be much of an effect, look back at maybe the past 4 months and see how you've already been aligning with the timeline to get you to this point. Look back at maybe the last 3 years and what aligned and transpired to get you here, even the stuff that maybe looked like it was coming to set you back but it didn't. Look at all that and see how it aligned to get you where you are right now, and see anything, any aversion, anything that's happening right now, it's aligning to get you there. You are heavily supported by Spirit, and I really want to mention that to you guys because they're coming through really strongly to say you're not walking this path on your own. With the Reclaim card, it's like you're reclaiming back what's rightfully yours. That's what I see you guys doing. Like there's a song by Beyonce, it's called Bigger, and she sings, life is your birthright, they hid that in the fine print, take the pen and rewrite it. It's like, again, it's karmic cycles through family. It's 11 minutes past on the clock. Just saying that before I continue. But it's like karmic cycles that have been happening, and then it's like, you know that you have a different destiny for you. So it's like, I'm rewriting all of this. But to rewrite it, I've actually got to alchemize it within myself too. And you've taken on that burden to reach those higher heights. I think that's why you're super protected, I feel. Because some of you guys may not care too much about ancestors. Like some of you guys may be like, I don't particularly care for my family, or my family, they've kind of gone around in all of these cycles. I don't care to connect with my ancestors. Whereas they're almost referencing like an understanding of that, but also sometimes people aren't strong enough in themselves, or hang on, let me rephrase that. Some people don't feel that they are strong enough to take on what you've taken on, to transmute or align with. Some people don't feel that they've got it in them to reach a potential that they could reach. So they'll keep themselves small. And some people don't believe that healing could be possible because they don't want to take the accountability of healing. And that can come from their own observance of their own weakness, that they don't want to do that. So they're referencing that they understand why you may not want to connect with certain ancestors and things like that. However, I feel like you're doing what maybe they set out to do, but in their human form felt like they couldn't. And that's why they feel very protective over you. It's almost like they're able to live through you and see that's why you're being heavily observed. This is why you're being heavily observed. And I feel like your lineage goes quite back, because there's almost like again, it's females coming through stronger, and there's this strong female energy that almost is going back, that is like observing and is like watching and very like doesn't play about you. And I don't think you'd even be aware of who this person is because of how far back it is. But it's almost reminding me, I remember when I watched Spy Kids 2, I think it was, and there was this big spider monkey, and he would like protect the boy. I think his name was Junie or something. He'd protect him, and he'd put his like stick over him to protect him. And I feel like that they're almost coming through with some sort of like cane or stick and placing it in front of you, like, not my person. Like they're strong. Like, you're not, you know what I mean? They're not falling down. No way. So they're coming through like that, this female energy, and that's, oh my God, I was just saying the stick being placed in front of you, protecting you. And what do we have here? The sticks together with the reclaim in front of something. That's literally what I was being shown, like a stick being placed in front of you. And I was saying about the female energy, we have the moon at the top of the card. The moon is connected to, you know, feminine energy, the mother. Wow. Very synchronistic. Very synchronistic. I feel like I would say you're a bit of a force to be reckoned with. And I think that you know this. I feel like you've only got to look back at who you are and how you've been able to hold your light and frequency in certain situations, hold your peace in certain situations. I think that's, I almost feel like it's quite obvious to say that you are a bit of a force, you know. Pile number 1, final card. What do we have as your final card? The bloom. Creations realized, right time, harvest and celebrate. You've planted a seed. That's why we had the Queen of Pentacles. You've planted a seed. Creations realized, right time. The thing is, you've already taken, I feel, your karmic line, like your family line, further than it has been before anyway. And it's not even a case of I'm just going the extra mile. It was like, oh no, we're not settling for mediocre. I haven't just purged all of this to just sit here and settle for mediocre. I could sit here and settle for mediocre and I'm not going to do it. Because there's almost this feeling like you may be able to like look around at your life right now, and I know you're aligning with something else, but you could easily settle. And you're like, no. I'm not just taking that onto the first timeline I see and making, you know, oh, there we go, done it. I'm just going to live a mediocre life now. I've healed a bit. It's cool. No. Your higher self and even you listening to this are like, no. We're climbing up to the top of that mountain. We're going right to the top. We're not settling for these mediocre views if we just purged all of that. No. I've gone through all that. I've done this. I've done that. I deserve the best. I'm going to the top. That's like boss moves. I have to say that is boss moves. It's 33 minutes on the timer up here. Just to let you guys know that. But yeah, you're making some boss moves, not just like in a human level, like, oh, this person's like doing all this healing and they're aligning with a paradigm. Boss moves, like, no, I even feel like if I was your spirit guide, I'd be like, oh, bold. That is a boss move. Oh my God, you're actually doing this. Oh wow, okay. Like, I almost feel like that's how I feel. I feel like I'm just like, oh wow, okay. Like, that's how I feel. I almost feel like there's an observance of like, oh, they didn't just settle either. Oh, they're going. Like, there's like a commentator kind of like funny energy coming through of like, oh, they just keep going. Oh, wow. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, if that's the paradigm we're headed to, that's great. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're all protected. Like, yep, we're going there. And that's how it feels. And I feel like pride, and there's a lot of protection coming through for you. The back of the deck, you guys had couldn't speak. You guys have the Holy Grail. Stop the endless searching in a quest. That's what you guys have at the back of the deck. I'm silencing myself because I keep thinking I'm hearing Luna meowing. Stop the endless searching in a quest. Stop the endless searching in a quest. I feel like you're learning. Do you see how she's pouring that rainbow into herself? I feel like you're learning as well that, like, maybe in the past with the healing as well, you've tried to right a lot of wrongs done by other people. And I think that you're learning that you don't need to prove anything to anyone else. You don't need to reach a particular level for anyone else. It's all within you, and it's what makes you happy. And I think maybe what's attached to a paradigm you're aligning with is your own genuine inner peace, which may look different to how you might have started out. You could have thought, you know, you could have been manifesting in the past and jump into a timeline where you were healing, but also along with that healing, maybe there was like a wound where you felt like you had to prove yourself. So it's like, I'm going to make this amount of money, or I'm going to have this amount of success in my career, or I'm going to have this and that. And then once you healed and you started to achieve that level of success, it was like, actually, I want to be happier, and I want inner peace, and I want this. So it's kind of shifted, and I feel like right now you're aligning with a paradigm that's more in alignment with your inner peace, rather than what maybe you feel you need to prove. And I think that's going to be even more abundant in every area for you, and I think you're aware of that too. And I think, again, that's why there's such a level of protection there as well, because maybe in the past people in your family line have done what they felt was right because they had to look a certain way to other people, whereas you're like, no, this is for me and my inner peace, because this is all about me. So that's what's coming through with that card. So yeah, pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope I was able to explain what may be going on in the energy field right now. I really hope that this guidance helped you guys. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if this resonated for you guys. I'm sending you guys all my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance your spirit guides have for you right now. So you guys chose the green aventurine heart. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. It's not shocked me that you guys chose the heart shaped green aventurine, because as I open up to your energies, I'm being shown a lot of pink, which is the color of the higher heart chakra. It could be that you're releasing there, or you're having an expansion there right now, or both. I'm just really picking up a lot of matters of the heart right now, but we'll get into it. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, guidance from pile number 2s. I just heard angelic assistance, whatever that may mean. We'll get into it now. Pile number 2, guidance from my pile number 2s right now in regards to their reality. What is the messages from pile number 2's spirit guides right now? I just heard nature's calling you. We have the 10 of Cups. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, guidance from my pile number 2's. Your card just ran away from me. Hang on. Oh my god. We have the 9 of Wands. Oh god, sorry guys, I'm literally being very clumsy today. Apologies. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, guidance for my pile number 2's from their spirit guides right now. Guidance from pile number 2. What guidance does pile number 2 spirit guides have for them right now? Connecting to your roots. You guys have 4 cards instead of 3. So I'm going to place them down. We have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Empress as well. I keep being shown nature's calling you, and then I'm being called for you guys to connect to your roots. Queen of Swords, the Empress. The back of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. Is that... oh no, I picked them up upside down. Okay, the Hanged Man. Okay, you know when you can't get a signal on a TV or a radio, and it's like, and then you hear like little words of noises like I'm hearing that. So it's almost feeling to me, okay, this is what I'm being told to say first and foremost. You guys are very connected to spirit. I feel like some of you guys may have been doubting that recently. This is the reason why you may have been doubting it. We have two energies within us, which is a divine feminine and a divine masculine. And a lot of the times when we connect to spirit, we forget to step, and when I say step out of our humanness, what I mean is we're taught as human beings in this current reality, at least in the Western world, we are taught to connect to spirit. We have to be in our masculine energy. To connect to anything, we have to be in our masculine energy. We have to be on the defense. We have to search. We have to project. We have to look. We have to sought after. When we do connect with spirit, however, we don't project it. We don't look for it. You know what I mean? We don't imagine it. We don't try and find it. We let it find us. So what we do is we allow ourselves to go back into our divine feminine energy, our Empress energy, which we have here. We allow ourselves to flow and be in the energy of receiving and allow anything to come through. What can happen is sometimes when we are connecting with spirit, if we are not in that divine feminine essence in our everyday life, for whatever reason, we could be purging right now. So maybe our masculine energy is coming out, doing that inner work, you know, pushing through and trying to do that inner work, or we may not feel super balanced because we've been in our masculine energy for so long. We can then find it hard to open up to spirit and open up to some sort of healing or release because we're in let's protect, let's physically look for an answer, let's find the answer, let's go into meditation and really push into our third eye to see if we can look for anything. When we're actually getting messages, we float back and it just allows itself to come in. And it's kind of hard sometimes when there's a lot going on and there's a lot of noise and there's a lot happening. It's very, very hard for us to really clear that vessel and clear that channel in order for it to come through. Now, one thing that I want to say is you guys are actually extremely clairsentient. So a lot of the messages a lot of you guys are going to get in this lifetime are going to be felt first and foremost. And I think even your ability to be clairsentient and be empathic to the level that you are, that's actually going to be the road that leads to other gifts maybe awakening, because I do feel like you guys do have quite a gift of being clairvoyant as well. However, the thing about being an empath and the thing about being a clairsentient is we are constantly with our antennas picking up things. We are picking up energy that is projected onto us. When we're conversing with people, we're taking on their energy. When we are going out into public places, it can come on to us. We can have people almost guilt us because they can feel our energy is healing. We can have people guilt us into giving us our energy. And what happens then is there becomes this block, there becomes this fog, there becomes this, you know, kind of like layer around us of smog. And then it's like we may have all of these feelings that are frustration of ourselves, but then also we may have the frustration and feelings of everything that's been projected onto us too. And you are being really called right now to cleanse, and that's why I was being called for you guys to come back to your roots and come back to your center, which is why I was sharing that nature is calling you. That's why it was coming through, because I feel like naturally at your essence, you're empathic, you're clairsentient, and the way you connect to your gifts is through your heart. Now, I don't know if some of you guys have maybe got into an argument recently. Some of you guys may have been cleansing and healing something very deep in your heart space recently. Some of you guys may have gone through an ego death or work, and you being in your masculine energy may have been more at the forefront for you, or it could have been you've been in a romantic connection which has required a lot of your masculine energy to come through. Sometimes that can happen. And you're being called to pull all of that energy back to you right now, and really reach that level of stillness so that you can really process any feelings and emotions you have right now and really allow them to pass, to come out of your energy field. I am really being called for you guys to get to some trees. If you can't get to trees, I'm being told for you guys to really be around water at this time. And normally when I pick up, because I feel some of you guys may be my water pile, normally when I pick up that energy, I do say water, water, water. And although I am being taken there's something about you guys being around trees right now. Now, I know trees really help us cleanse. They really take on that energy. But I'm almost being shown somebody sitting in front of a tree, and as silly as it may feel, just speaking your worries and troubles to like nature, you know what I mean, to this tree, like whatever's around you, any nature around you, and really speaking that, because it really does cleanse our energy. And when we make that conscious energy and we allow things to really release and come out, that those elements are going to work for us naturally, because they're a part of us. We're a part of Mother Gaia. And I feel like that's why you're being called so strongly back to your root, that I'm being taken to nature, because I'm almost being shown someone turning their phone off, taking wires out of their feet, and then getting stems from a tree and plugging them back onto their feet instead. There's a I just want to say lessons. Maybe this is a lesson some of you guys are learning. I feel like you guys are learning how to become an empowered empath and to not take people's energy on, but also to really believe in yourself as well, and really align with your true nature of who you are, so that you can more so glide in that divine feminine energy, instead of always feeling like you have to protect yourself or search for something, or like things aren't going right, because a lot of the time as well, when people will get into watching pick a cards and stuff, they may be in a masculine energy of, I need to find out the answers to things, so they'll go into like tarot and watch pick a cards in the sense of they're in a masculine energy without realizing it. That sometimes it can do more harm than good, because it's like they're in that masculine energy searching, but what would really help is if they balance that energy out and came into their divine feminine to really take the messages in one by one and really allow them to filter. And I feel like that's what you're being called to do right now, is come back into that divine feminine. As well, I'm being shown there's a lot going on in someone's mind, because I'm being told that some of you guys are dealing with insomnia right now and not being able to sleep. And then I'm literally being shown someone scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through social media. So you're being really called right now, turning off the phone, having certain hours of the day where you maybe answer your phone or look at things on your phone, really balancing things right now, and really look at where you're pouring in your energy and maybe not getting it back. Where people are maybe guilting you to give your energy to them, and then you're not getting it back, and then you're worse for wear. You're really being called to put the shutters down right now, because I'm being told naturally your vibration is quite high, and naturally you have this very beautiful way of working through your own emotions and cleansing them and working through them, but there's so much noise around me right now, which has been a little bit of a theme in the collective, where I feel like you're almost feeling like on the defense with this Nine of Wands. It's like, I have to be on the defense. And that's why we literally then have the Queen of Swords, because it's like you're being called to speak your boundaries right now. Put your boundaries in place. Really speak them out. Really place them, put them in place right now, so that you can fall into this Empress energy and not have to worry so much. That's something that's coming through. And I would say for you guys right now, first of all, I would say for you guys to get some rocks, because I always find when I have rocks around me, they're very condensed physical form. They help ground me into my physical body. But I would also say any worries that you have right now, and you have questions maybe of what's to come, write them down on a piece of paper right now. So like write, let's say, am I going to get the house that I want? Or am I, what should I do about this connection with this person? How should I continue with this? Or what should I do to make myself feel better? I'm feeling really low right now. Write these questions down. And then I almost want to say when you have time, because I feel like there's so much going on. That's why you're being called to almost say no to people right now. There's a big reference on the word no. No is a complete sentence, and you don't have to explain yourself. That is the first thing I'm being told there. But I'm being told that when you're in your own energy then, and you're able to meditate, go into that meditation. And when you feel like you're at that level of peace, it may take a little while, and that's fine. It may take a couple of starts and stops, that's fine. Look at this list of questions that you have for yourself and answer them in that meditative state and see what comes through, because you'll be more in that feminine energy of receiving that these answers are going to come through for you, and you'll be able to feel these answers come through for you, and you'll be able to look at them in a higher perspective way. But right now, anything that's causing you friction, you're almost being called to chuck everything to the floor and only pick up what you can manage right now, and then go one by one from there. And you'll start to see that some worries and fears might not have even been your own. that's coming through. But there's a fear that you've either lost psychic gifts or you're not connected to spirit, and that's not true, because the way you connect to spirit is through your heart. And the reason that you may not be feeling that right now is because I almost feel like someone's either inflicted pain to you in the heart space, or you're purging out something in regards to your heart space, or it could be your worth, which is making you feel abandoned, which is then grieving from your heart space, because your solar plexus can affect your heart chakra. So there's something like that coming through right now. But the key to connecting with spirit is through your heart, and it's always going to be that way for you guys. I'm not saying you don't have an open crown third eye. You do. You definitely have very strong intuition, very strong third eye. However, it's your heart that's the key to your strength and your power and your gateway to the other realms. So that's something that's coming through. And I think that the more you're stepping into this receiving energy, that's when you're going to get certain messages coming through, an expansion. That's why we have the Hangman here. So let's pull some more cards. Worrying puts us in a state of lack that then consciously creates more lack, and I think that's why there's a big strong urge for you to come back to base and root yourself in somewhere. And the way that you'll know where to root yourself back in is feeling any stress, fear, grief that you're having right now, and analyzing it, really accepting it and leaning into it, and maybe asking that emotion why, really asking yourself, why am I feeling this way, and really feeling into it. Because I feel like you guys may have a lot of air as well, so you guys may be quite like mental, so you guys may be observing emotions instead of actually feeling them, and that's great, but it's then causing worry because you're not fully leaning into them to feel them, to purge them out. And that's where you're being called to do that, so it can just pass through, Pile number 2, messages from pile number 2, spirit guides right now, please. The Dawn of Swords, reflection and diligence. Yeah, reflection, that makes sense. And you see how she's emerging from the clouds? Like she's seeing clear, she's emerging from the clouds. Pile number 2, messages from pile number 2, spirit guides. What guidance do they have right now? We have the Ace of Rings, recognition and success. And the back of the deck we have the Empress again. So you have the Empress twice, centered. It literally says centered and abundant. So everybody's true nature at their core is to be abundant. Everybody's true nature at their core is to be aligned to that universal energy of interconnectedness, and knowing that what's for us is always going to be for us, and centering ourselves like that. But because we're taught so many different things growing up, to come out of certain energies and not see our power, and not, believe that the best is to come, and not to believe that things are going to turn out the way that we need them through aligning with it, we can then fall into different energies that can distort that. But underneath all of this layer is this Empress energy that you have, and the way that you connect back to it to be able to receive certain insight, or to be able to really see things from a higher perspective, is by tapping into that divine feminine energy. I'm even being shown somebody maybe watching pick a cards and like nothing's resonating, and then feeling like I'm picking the wrong pile, and then it's like, well, my intuition isn't working, and it's not that. There's a cleanse that you're being called to do, which is more so, again, like I said, processing emotions, being out in nature. Like I keep wanting to turn my phone off and just go out in nature for a couple of hours, and really pondering on what I may be feeling, so it can just come out. There's something about that really strongly coming through, because we've got reflection here. There's something in regards to your heart space, something's being hit in your heart space. Pile number 2, what messages and guidance do pile number 2 spirit guides have for them right now? We have compassion. Pile number 2, what messages do my pile number 2s need to hear right now? We have nature. We have nature, of course. That's what I was hearing. Nature's calling you. Pile number 2. We have the Sage. If you guys can definitely cleanse your energy with intent right now, I would definitely say that. Palo Santo is one that's coming up for you guys. Yeah, that's definitely something that's coming up. If you guys can get some Palo Santo, or whether it's oil, or I'm also been taking the herbs because I feel like you guys have a strong resonance with nature. I feel like you guys cleanse with nature quite easily. Maybe some of you guys work from home and haven't been out of the house, haven't been under the sun. I know in the northern hemisphere it's winter right now, so maybe you guys haven't seen the sun for a little bit. That could be something. We have self-love at the back of the deck. Yeah, I feel like the answer to abundance as well for you is you being selfish with your energy to a degree and really pouring into you. And I feel like, yes, you're a healer. Yes, you have this beautiful energy. And I'm not saying never help people. You know what I mean? You see empaths and healers all the time, and they have, you know, clients. They have people that work with them. But to give their all to those clients and those missions, they have to have boundaries in their personal life. They can't have people in their personal life wanting them to, you know, to do all of what they're doing in their work time, in their personal life, and then they're not getting it back. You know what I mean? Because then it's like they would be drained. They wouldn't even have their career then. You know what I mean? It's like with myself, I've got to be very cautious of who comes into my life, and I've got to make sure that they want to be around me for me. Not just because they need me, because I've had people do that and it takes me out of my energy to the point that I don't have energy to give to my work. That happens, you know what I mean? So that's where you're being called to really be careful where your energy's going, and that it's not up for the take. And I keep wanting to say no is a complete sentence. If you don't feel like doing something, you don't have to do it. There's something about you instigating these strong boundaries so that you're not being swayed by other energies, and it could even be spiritually. Like sometimes you know, I've been learning how to help souls like cross over and things like that. And sometimes I'll have energies come through to me when I'm flaring with my hormones, with my PMDD, or I'm, you know, in just a really low state because I'm healing something and I'm focused on that. I don't have the energy to do things. And I can have, you know, spirit and energies come to me and just be saying, do this, do that. And I'm like, I can't right now. You know, you have to have boundaries in the spirit realm too, and be like, I can't physically do it right now. You're going to have to wait because I'm going through something, or I haven't got the energy, it will deplete me, I can't do it. You have boundaries there too, so it could even be spiritually for some of you guys as well. But that's something that's really strongly coming up. Nature is really calling you right now, and I feel like maybe answers that you're seeking are going to come through in nature as well. Maybe setting the intention before you go into a forest or you go to the beach and going, I really want to walk away from this, you know, space, and I want to have the answer to this, or I want to feel more aligned with this, and going into that space with the intention of clearing that and getting the answer to something, because nature is really vibrating, nature is really speaking. And I feel like you'll feel nature more than most, because you have clairsentience, and nature is able to connect to us and speak to us through energy and feeling. We can feel it through our heart space because it radiates at that heart level. So nature can really speak to you. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people will say nature doesn't speak and animals don't speak. They do, but they have a different language, and that's a language that you actually naturally speak, because you're able to feel, and you're actually able to naturally feel and speak to the energy that you're feeling right now and go, is this mine? And why is it here? You're able to do that because you're mastered in the art of feeling. You know what I mean? But this human vessel may have forgotten a few things, and that's why you're learning to master it in this physical form. And that's something coming through. So let's pull your final card. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2 spirit guides. What's the final card for my pile number 2s? The fertile void. What is that? Is that a mark? Oh, my cats have scrubbed my table. Oh well. The fertile void. Inner winter, rest, patience, potency, secret beginnings. Maybe some of you guys as well have maybe been going through a bit of an ego death and feeling a little bit disconnected. And then there's worries coming out, so you're naturally going into your human defense, which is the masculine energy, to find out why you're not connecting the way you were, or why things have started getting a little bit hard. It could be something to do with that. Yeah, and that's why you're being called to water yourself right now. You can't bloom unless you're watered first. I feel like people are trying to pick your fruits before you fully bloomed and you haven't finished watering yourself yet. And then you're wondering why you're not blooming or why you're not blooming as fast, but it's because people are pulling the fruits and stopping you from watering yourself. Yeah. Right now is a time for you and pouring into you is the message. The back of the deck, you have the crowning, initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, the seat at the table. I feel like this may be you alchemizing from an empath to an empowered empath. You guys may even have clients that you work with. It could be in anything. It doesn't just have to be spiritual work. And you may find that they're getting a bit... they're not respecting your boundaries of time right now, and that's where you're being called to maybe pull back and really reset the balance there. It could be in regards to that, but for others of you guys, it's friends and maybe family as well, or just situations in your everyday life. But you're not here to be everybody's healer, is the message. Yeah, and you come first because you came into this life on your own. And I know you may put a lot of worth in helping others, but you help others by being the best version of you. Yeah. So pile 2, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance your spirit guides have for you right now. Now, funnily enough, I was in the middle of doing pile 2s and I managed to glance over to your crystal, and I thought it might have been part of their reading, but nothing came up to follow it. And what came up was a message, and it said angelic assistance, and then nothing was spoken of it again. And then I started to think, oh well, maybe because I looked at the angelite, it was something to do with that. Completely forgot about it by the end of the reading. Opened up to your energy, and the first thing I heard was angelic assistance. So I don't know what that might mean yet, but I do know that it's something to do with your reading, and you may have even been drawn to like pile 2, maybe felt like it didn't resonate, and then being called here, and that's the reference that yes, this is, you're meant to be here. So if that happened and you were listening to pile 2 and it was like, this doesn't resonate, but you heard me say that and now you're hearing me say it again, it could be that, or it could be a reference that some of you guys were drawn to pile 2, didn't choose it, and this is a reference that this is your pile. There's just something along those lines, but we'll see what that means. Angelic assistance. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What guidance do my pile number 3's spirit guides have? What guidance? Oh god, your cards are just going ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I always feel static when I'm feeling into your energy. I feel like there's some sort of shift being happening. It's not a case of it's coming, it's been happening. Pile number 3. There's something being awoken within you, like a spiritual awakening. It's like an unraveling. Something's being hit that's kind of like being brought to your attention. It's like, you know, when people discover parts of the world that they never discovered before, something like that's happening, but it's in your energy field. It's something that's always been there, you're just only now discovering it on a human level. What is that? Pile number 3. What guidance to my pile number 3's? We have the Queen of Pentacles. Pile number 3, guidance from pile number 3, spirit guides. We have the King of Cups. Pile number 3, what guidance do my pile number 3's need to hear from their spirit guides right now? What guidance? There's an expansion happening in your crown chakra where you're going to realize, I think you might be opening up to psychic abilities, or if you've always been open to psychic abilities, you guys are having that opened up even more, if that makes sense. Like when you repot a plant and there's more room for the plant to grow, that's what's happening. There's an expansion. You're able to channel more, which means you're able to hold a different frequency, which is having you channel something a lot more grander, which is maybe shifting your reality or the way that you move. You may have gone through or be going through an ego death, Kundalini awakening. Yeah, we literally have the Fool. Something's really shifted or shifting in your conscious energy right now. Some of you guys, it's a really strong awakening. Some of you guys, it's an initiation into something. If you've never been open to spirit before, you're currently starting to. If you've always been open to spirit, it's another level, another layer. You're okay. We have the Six of Pentacles at the back of the deck. Okay, spirit guides. Right now you may be feeling super confused about messages that you're getting. Some of you guys may be feeling a little bit confused with messages you're getting from spirit, like even ideas. Like I'm almost being shown you like sitting in bed or like looking at something and then having an idea of what something is, seeing something deeper, but you're just waiting for your mind to catch up with it. So it's bringing in a confusion, because the way that you open up to like more cosmic energies, the way that you open up to more angelic energies, the more that you do that, it doesn't just come in like it's here and then it's not. It could literally fry your brain or break your brain if that happened, and it could do more harm than good. It comes in like the sea. It slowly makes its way in waves. When that comes in and you set a clearing to be able to open up to it. So maybe you've been through a void stage and an ego death to be able to bring in a lot of this newness, because it's like fresh energy coming in. And normally when I'm talking about, oh, it's an ego death, so you're opening up, I'll pick up purging, I'll pick up, oh, we're clearing this out. It doesn't even feel like that. It almost feels like, oh no, we done that, taken care of. So you may have been in a void stage or ego stage for some time, or just felt like you were just waiting in the wings. And what's happening is I'm seeing you guys like looking at, let's just say, let me think of something. I'll try to think of it in the sense of something that happened with me. Okay, so I was always connected to spirit, connected to crystals, cool. When I went through my Kundalini awakening and I went through a complete void stage, my whole reality shifted as well. I went through an ego death on top of that. And I started looking at these crystals that I've collected my whole life and had such a resonance from. And I thought, they mean nothing to me right now. I don't see anything in them right now. All I see is rocks. However, I was able to understand that there was something that I couldn't quite feel yet, but those crystals were a part of me in some sort of way. But it was so confusing, it didn't make sense. So I would just detach. I'd be like, okay, I'm not picking up anything right now. I know there's something more to it, but I'm just going to leave it there. As this ocean of energy started to open up to me, and I was like, you know, really awakening to a higher degree, I was able to really understand what crystals actually were. I was able to understand the degree of how powerful they were, how connected they were, what they were charged with, how I have that within myself. And I was able to align with them in a way that they were part of me that I never saw before. But for a while, I kind of got it, but I didn't feel it yet. It hadn't downloaded yet. It hadn't bloomed. The seed was there and planted. It hadn't bloomed yet. There's something happening right now where you've had a lot of things seeded and you're waiting for them to bloom. And that's why I'm hearing angelic assistance, because I almost feel like your spirit team has had a shift, like your spirit guides, you know, who was around you guiding you. It's not a case of oh, we're leaving now. It's a case of when we shift and change, specifically in frequencies, our guides are going to shift and change with us. Some will stay, but then some are going to shift. You'll usher new guides in that are taking us down a different path. Specifically, if there's an initiation of some sort, you are going to have a guide come with you to really initiate you that way. And that's something that I see happening for you. I almost feel like things are feeling funny. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I know I'm expanding. And it's because everything around you right now, even as little as like a style that you have, or foods that you eat, or places you want to see, there's even like I'm being shown the grid of the earth, seeds being planted along the grid, and you're thinking of places like, let's just say Japan. You're thinking of Japan and you're not feeling anything to go there yet, but it's in your mind. It's like, oh, Japan, I don't know why that's coming into my awareness. I don't know why. But as time goes on and they're starting to bloom, you may have had a past life there, or you may do something where you may have like a career opportunity there, or you may meet someone there that's significant to you. And then it's like you're aligning with that timeline. But right now it's just coming into your mind and you're going to be confused. Like, why Japan? You know what I mean? Or why am I craving fruit? Or gardening, I've never cared about gardening, why do I care about that right now? Or it's like I see someone looking at a tree and then getting this message of like, or having this understanding of like that tree is connected to the, you know, electromagnetics of the earth, and I'm part of the earth because every physical form on earth came from Mother Gaia. So if nature is part of that and I am part of that, I am part of that tree, and it's connected to me. And you're like confusing yourself with what you're getting, but you know you're onto something, but it doesn't fully make sense right now. And Spirit's saying, yeah, no, that's completely fine. Like, just allow everything to come in right now, and just, again, with this King of Cups, don't react too much to anything right now. Just observe everything, because there's a lot of seeds being planted in your reality right now that is open you up to, it's almost like you cleared the way to get to a paradigm, you aligned with a paradigm, you got rid of your old paradigm and anything weighing you there, you've now emerged onto this island, and it's like, I know what this island could be, and I know there could be loads of plants, but nothing's quite here yet. So I'm just going to stand here on this island with nothing on it. And then as time goes on, you realize the seeds have already been planted, and all these flowers start to bloom and food start to come. And because of that, wildlife starts to appear there, and it becomes this booming island. But right now you're just stood there because all the seeds are in the ground, and you're just a bit like, I know something's coming. I know I'm about to reach another level of a consciousness. I know I'm about to have a flood of aha moments. However, right now everything's just still. And Spirit's saying, sit in that stillness, because you're about to have one heck of an expansion. It's going to come in like waves. It's not going to overwhelm you. And it's maybe might take a couple of years. Think of how long you may have been in. I'm being told, look at how long you may have been in a void stage or a shadow phase, and think of that's how long it's going to be. And I'm not saying how long it's going to be where there's nothing here, but these waves coming in bit by bit, that's how long it might take. So say now you're in shadow period for 3 years. Over the next 3 years, it's going to be layers upon layers upon layers of richness coming back into your life, and expansion coming back into your life, and a beautiful journey. You know what I mean? And I see that really happening for you guys, because with the Queen of Pentacles, you've planted the seed, you've nurtured the seed. We have the King of Cups, you are patiently waiting, you're emotionally intelligent about it. It's like, I'm detached, but I'm also aware that it's all happening. And then it's like this beginning, this full energy is here. But there's, again, with the Six of Pentacles, it's like, how do I explain it? Your own vessel is waking up now to parts that have been dormant. Not that they weren't ever there, they were just dormant. So like psychic gifts that you, it's 111 on the clock, by the way. Psychic gifts that you, you know, weren't tapping into before. It's almost like you cleared enough that now it's like this tide is coming in and the water's coming down to fertilize a seed, to have something grow. And it's like, you could have like an activation of like being a medium in the next 3 years, or you could have an activation of you know, being a medical medium and looking into like healing the physical body. Or you could, there's so many ways. You could even find that like over the next 3 years you do something really well that you might not have been able to before, like sing or draw or paint, or you know, your brain may even get more advanced, in the sense of like, before I could only just about do my times tables, now I know the square root of pi. It's like there's something even mathematical coming in, or like scientifically, that there's things being awoken within you. It's just really, really interesting, and you're being called to just wait and follow the white rabbit and see what comes through, because this feels like an awakening, but it's an expansion. I feel like you've done the heavy part, you've already done the heavy lifting, so now it's just like things are being blessed to bloom. Things are just popping. It's like, do you remember in Harry Potter, in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, when they go into that vault? I think it was Bellatrix's vault, and I think it was Hermione accidentally knocked a little gold thing over, and that room was enchanted, so every time you touched anything, it would duplicate and duplicate and duplicate until there was so much of it. I see that happening over the next 3 years, an expansion in that way. And as these floods of water come in, which is more upgrades in your energy coming in, things are duplicating in your life. You may even like have paths open up that just weren't there before, because you're aware of them now. yeah, so I feel like there's a spiritual upgrade, and it's a flowing one. It's not intense, and it's not, you may have moments of intensity, but then they settle, because it's coming in layers. It's a spiritual upgrade. I feel like your dreams may start getting a lot more fluid. You may get a lot more sensitive to certain things. I'm hearing breaking free, the high school musical song. Yeah, I'm breaking free. It's like we're soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. So I feel like your own reality is going to start feeling limitless and opening up, because there's a lot of timelines and pathways just coming onto your frequency because you've aligned with them. It's been a bit of a journey, you know. Yeah, let's put some more. So you're just going on and on with these cards because a lot's coming through. I feel like a lot of you guys may find out how much of maybe a clear channeler you are, with your crown chakra opening like that. You may find you're just spirit speaking through you, singing through you, writing through you, talking through you. There's a lot of collaboration with spirit up ahead. A lot of fated moments up ahead. It's almost like you're even starting like a new TV series where there's new characters and new people. We have the Six of Rings, generosity and assistance, and I hear angelic assistance as well. And the Six of Rings is the Six of Pentacles, which we have here, which we have twice. Some of you being initiated to use your gifts in the world, whatever way that may be. You could be pulled to more humanitarian acts. I'm seeing, you know, causes with animals and Mother Gaia and things like that. I'm being called, like, for you guys to maybe be on some sort of platform helping people. You guys could go into like reading for people, or channeling for people, or connecting with people spiritually whereas you wouldn't have before, or you may take a completely different quest there, you know, in something that you've never thought you were open to before, but you actually mastered it before, and that's what's blooming. A lot of different things, but I do think that you are here in some way to bring messages through. I do feel like you are here as some sort of bridge to pass messages through, or some sort of alchemist or healer, and I feel like that's really being highlighted and initiated over the next couple of years. I'm being told to say Two of Rings as well, which is the Two of Pentacles, fluctuation and adaptability. And the back of the deck we have the Ten of Cups, abundance and attainment. So yeah, I feel like you're reaching like the end of the rainbow sort of thing, or maybe you've been through a bit of a storm and now the rainbow's appearing, because we have the tide here and then we have the rainbow in the background. So I do feel like a rainbow is about to come out. I'm not saying it's going to be plain sailing over the next 3 years, but I do feel like the sun's coming out, and I do feel like you're going to be feeling a lot more centered and within your own energy, and really balancing your energy out, especially with this Two of Rings, the fluctuation card. I do think things are going to bloom. It's going to be a bit of a cycle. So what's going to happen is you're going to be going through waves where it's like okay, so I'm trying to think of how to start it because I don't even know how to even begin. So right now you're in this void stage, and let's do the island analogy. So you're on the island and the seeds are there, and now you're out of this void stage. The sun is booming. You're aware you've made it onto this island. You're no longer where you used to be. It's great. And you're aware somehow, even though you don't see physical proof, that flowers are about to bloom. Then all of a sudden this one flower starts to bloom, and it's like, oh wow, so you're starting to dissect that flower. There's a lot of information coming in about that flower. You're really seeing how that flower can benefit you. How can you utilize that flower? And then the minute that's done, it's like, okay, cool. So then those flowers start to sprout about the island, and you sit there and you're like, cool, I have poppies, let's say. That's really cool. So you're sitting there, and then things just calm down a little bit, and you know all there is to know about poppies, and it's great. And then all of a sudden you've got palm trees coming up with like coconuts, and it's like, oh, what is this? And then, you know, there's an expansion of them on you know, around, and then you're learning about them, and then you realize you can drink the coconut milk, and maybe you could use, you know, the leaves as clothes. And it's like you're utilizing these little things, and then that coconut juice could do something to your body, like strengthen it. So it's like, oh wow, this is strengthening my body. I've activated something now. Wow, now I can climb things, and now I can do this, and now I can do that. So it's like it's flooding in slowly in layers, and you're going through these upgrades, expanding, grounding yourself back into your physical body, expanding again, grounding back into your physical body. And the more you do it, the more elevated you feel and more in alignment you feel. That's what's happening here with this fluctuation card. What are we pulling next? These pile number 3, guidance from pile number 3, spirit guides, please. Guidance from pile number 3's spirit guides. We have the Sovereign. Pile number 3, spirit guides, please. What guidance do my pile number 3s need to... We have get creative. Look at that. That looks like a butterfly as well. I don't know whether it 100% is a butterfly, but it looks like one. I think it looks like a mixture of a butterfly and a flower blooming. Oh, goodness, hang on. Your card fell. We have the Shadow. And one more card, please, spirit guides. Guidance from pile number 3, spirit guides. The Explorer. Yeah, and we have the eye at the top and then the heart. You're about to reach new limits in your life. The storm is over. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. We've connected to the heart. Even when you may even be feeling a little bit confused with maybe messages that are coming through right now, and you might not understand things that are coming through yet as your energy's tailoring, I would always say to tap into your heart, because I feel like you guys are quite clairsentient, so you're able to know what's right for you and what's not. There is this clairsentience energy where you move with your heart. That's something that's coming through. With the Sovereign, and then we have get creative. I just feel like there's especially with the Fool card, there's a lot of freshness coming in. There's a lot of new insights coming in. You're about to start seeing life in completely different colors. You're about to start seeing, vibrations around you and really aligning in a way that you haven't before. You're really waking up to that, and I think you're aware of this too. And that's what you're being called to be super, super aware of. Lots of upgrades. Make sure you're grounding. Make sure you're hydrating. I feel like your sleeping patterns may fluctuate. You're being called to really, align yourself with that and work around that. I just feel like a lot of little things around you just shifting, but then I'm being shown someone with a blank canvas, and it's like, oh, I have all these colors. Let me paint with all these different colors. That's what I'm getting with these 2 cards. It's like, you've been through that void. It's now time to paint with this new information that's coming through. And the more... let's say you are now seeing 4 colors that before it was just black and white, so now you're seeing red, blue, green and yellow, and then it's like the more you paint with them, it activates together, and now you're making purple with the red and the blue, you know what I mean? And now you're making orange, and now you're making this and that, so it's like all these colors kind of being made to blend in as you're opening up to it. It's really beautiful. Why do we have the Shadow card? I feel like I feel like there's some sort of ego death or deep sense of unraveling of the shadow that has allowed you to reach this timeline. Like, you've really been unhooking. I think that's what's got you here, to be honest with you. It's like I've cleaned the garden. I'm waiting for the water to kind of bless the roots now to have new flowers bloom. I've got rid of the weeds. And with the Explorer card, it's almost like watch and wait. I feel like the next 3 years you're really going to be learning so much about yourself. It's 1:22 on the clock, by the way, and it's 22 minutes when I look at the timer when I'm speaking. But yeah, I really do feel like you're about to really not just explore. I mean, you may go traveling, you may open up to new career paths and stuff, but it's not just that. It's exploring your own potential over the next couple of years. It feels like the next 2 to 3 years, you're becoming something. It's really, really beautiful, and it feels very fresh. It feels like I've been running for ages, and now I finally get to have a bottle of water and just, cleanse my vessel. That's kind of how it feels. Pile number 3. Final card for my pile number 3s. What guidance do my pile number 3s need to hear right now? Lots of shifts have been happening, so you may be even feeling you don't feel at home in your own home, like you're walking through your house and you're like, I don't know, I just feel a bit detached from this house, or I don't know, I just feel a bit detached from my hometown, or clothes I used to wear, or music I used to listen to. Like, I see some of you guys trying to listen to old music they used to listen to and being like, this does nothing for me, like absolutely nothing for me, this doesn't hit at all, because it just doesn't align with you anymore. And you may be feeling a little bit confused because of not just that, I think there's so many shifts in your energy fields, the way you're looking at life, the timelines that are pouring in front of you require a different version of you, and you're already feeling them coming in even though they're not here, so you're tailoring yourself to them energetically. And then new people are coming in, so you're tailoring yourself to their energy too. You're aligning with something so different. Your spirit guides, like there's different guides coming around you, so your energy there is feeling a lot different. And then it's like, oh my god, like nothing feels like me right now, and you're being called to just observe right now. That's what's coming through. The back of the deck, we have the Wild Rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness, untamed. Why do we have do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, untamed? Because in the past, your shadow may have called the shots, or your old energies called the shots, whereas now it's more, you're more aware that you are creating your own reality. So you're making these movements yourself because you're aware and consciously aware of them. What may have been steering the boat before was your shadow, or you knowing that you had to accomplish removing certain karmic wounds or removing certain baggages before you reached where you're at now, and that's what drove you. Whereas right now what's driving you is discovery, and that doesn't really have any rules. So that's what's happening right now. It's more in your hands. I do want to say, as I'm speaking, parts of my arms are feeling warm, parts of my face are feeling warm. So some of you guys may be having hot flushes, which is change in frequency, DNA clearing, things like that. Or it could be that you're feeling spirit a lot stronger and they're coming through in warmth. That's just something that's coming through. What was the back of the deck? The sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. Really listen to your body right now and just observe everything that's coming through. Don't force yourself to try and understand something that you're not understanding yet as well. The fact that it's even in your brain or it's being brought into your awareness means that that's probably a blueprint that you're about to start understanding and really delving into. And then maybe in like a year's time or 6 months' time, it'll click. So if you read a passage and it doesn't quite make sense, or you're initiating into something and something doesn't make sense, it will. Or if you're being called somewhere and it doesn't make sense, it will in time. And that's something that's being referenced as well, and being shown owls. And obviously owls are very wise beings, so there's something about that coming through of you guys just mastering a level. I'm just being shown the owl spirit as being maybe a bit of a totem for you guys right now if you want to look into owls for you guys. But yeah, that is what I have for you guys, pile number 3. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope I was able to give the guidance that you needed. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you enjoyed. I'm sending all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.